University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications. You're watching WUFT News.
Some Alachua County residents are upset about the county raising repair prices on bridges in the area.
And a local school wants to know who is paying for repair costs after a road chase on their property.
And Marion County is trying to combat the local poverty rate.
We begin with breaking news for this Friday, April 8th. I'm Nestor Montoya.
And I'm Danny Mathio. In a unanimous decision, a federal jury clears former Marion County Deputy Jesse Terrell. Terrell was charged with violating drug suspect Derek Price's civil rights. He and other officers involved in the arrest caught on a security camera were fired after the sheriff's office ruled the use of force was excessive. The violent arrest took place in August of 2014. But the defense presented evidence that the suspect was carrying weapons and ammunition as well as drugs.
The Marion County Health Department joined with the United Way to teach some community members how to help with the issue of poverty.
They were taught through real-life situations how to treat and offer better resources to the poor. Laura Peevler joins us now in the studio with the details. Laura, how significant is the poverty problem in Marion County?
Well, last year, 18% of Marion County residents were below the poverty line, and that's only 2% higher than the average in Florida. So health department officials decided to take advantage of National Public Health Week to address the economics of health.
And they're in survival mode all the time.
When understanding those in poverty, trainers say that you must first know how they live. While each economic class values different things in life, those in poverty are just focused on making it to the next day. And one point that was stressed throughout the seminar was the importance of forming relationships with them.
If you do not establish a connection with that client, you do not establish a relationship with that client, you will get nowhere with them.
Another topic that was brought up was the difference between urban and rural poverty. Although there can be just as much poverty in big cities as there are in Ocala, the resources that people have access to here are different.
Although there is normally a bigger sense of community in rural places, there is also more isolation because of the distance between people's homes. But Marion County health officials are hoping that distance won't get in the way of helping each other.
We're being more empathetic and understanding how we can give them a hand up and not a handout.
A common solution among the group was to have more mentor programs in workplaces and in the school system.
And then you're able to manage a lot of these resources and increase them once you have the report.
Kat says that the overall goal is not to be understood, but to understand where those in poverty are coming from.
The hope is that the helping professionals that we provide the trainings for will have a better understanding of where their clients are coming from, and they can meet their clients where they are.
This was the first time that Marion County leaders held a poverty seminar, but they hope to do it again and get other communities and groups involved.
Early yesterday morning, a 13-year-old led authorities on a car chase in Gainesville.
Alachua County Sheriff deputies followed the boy onto St. Francis High School property. They say the teen ran over several fenced batting cages and then used a propane blowtorch to set his own mother's car on fire. WUFT's Ashlyn Reese joins us from the newsroom with more. Ashlyn, what did the scene look like?
Well, the baseball field was still intact. However, the netted batting cage area was almost destroyed. Some of the net was torn down, other parts of it were burned. There was still debris laying on the field where the teen burned the car. The pursuit started when witnesses say they saw the teen driving recklessly. Gainesville police officers stopped their pursuit when he got on I-75.
Our pursuit policy will only allow us to engage in a pursuit if we know that the driver has committed a forcible felony, which is a violent felony.
ASO took over when the teen exited the interstate. He led deputies to St. Francis High School, drove through its baseball field, and destroyed several batting cages by hitting them with the car. He then torched the car and ran, but was tracked by ASO's K-9 to a nearby ditch and arrested. St. Francis officials say they have filed a claim, but have not heard back about who will be responsible for fixing the damage.
It's going to either be taken care of by the insurance that was on the vehicle, if there was insurance, or ordered through as restitution through the courts, or last but not least, some type of civil litigation.
St. Francis officials couldn't talk about the case, but said they have to leave the field in this condition until an insurance agent determines a final damage estimate, which could be about $10,000. Now the car has been removed from the scene. However, you can still smell the burning plastic, and there are still parts of the car that have been left behind. The teen's mother is a victim in the case and decided to press charges against her son, but she still could be taken to court to pay for the damage.
In this case, there was a large amount of damage done, and the van is totaled. And you know, I don't know that the insurance company will even look at that claim if she doesn't report it stolen.
The teen is facing charges of arson, property damage of $1,000 or more, trespassing on school grounds, motor vehicle theft, and resisting without violence. According to authorities, the child's mother did not know that the car was missing until she was contacted by police officers. Reporting from the newsroom, Ashlyn Reese, WUFT News.
Thank you, Ashlyn. Well, the weather has been really great today.
Yeah, hopefully it sticks with all of the events that we have going on tonight. UF forecaster Amanda Hawley joins us now from the Weather Center. Amanda, what kind of temperatures can we expect for this evening?
Gorgeous is pretty much what we can expect. It'll be a little bit breezy out there, but it is certainly going to be the perfect night for all the events we have going on. First, Gator baseball starts in just a few minutes here at 5:30, around 80 degrees. There will be a westerly wind out there, so it could help those baseballs reach a little further out in the outfield there. If you're heading to the orange and blue debut tonight, that game starts at 7. Temperatures will be a little bit cooler, around 72 degrees, and those breezy conditions will continue as well. Currently, it's pretty nice out there. 82 in Gainesville, 81 down in Ocala, even warmer along the first coast there. But temperatures tonight will be falling into the lower 40s. I'll talk more about this in my main weather forecast, but we do have some cooler weather ahead for the weekend. Coming up, I will tell you just how long the cooler weather will last and just when we could see warmer temperatures return to the area. Back to you.
Thanks, Amanda. If your commute or your shopping trips take you along Tower Road, Alachua County has some good news for you. The potholes could be fixed by early next year. WUFT's Valier Thomas has more on the decision to make it a priority.
Alachua County commissioners are making it a priority to get started on Tower Road resurfacing. A meeting is scheduled in May to amend the comprehensive plan to allow the road project. The work may take some time, but commissioners are hoping for a speedy process.
So I would say at least a year, but if we can get it amended and move forward, I would hope that it'd be less, maybe 6 months.
The cars behind me here are driving on Tower Road, which is in bad condition. Tower Road and County Road 326 are the latest priorities for the County Commission, which is ready to target $3.5 million toward the projects. But resurfacing Tower Road isn't the only concern for one Gainesville resident.
I think the road could use some widening because it gets awfully congested, especially in the mornings when the school zones are up.
That's not in the works right now, but a May 10th meeting could bring the green light for repaving. Valeria Thomas, WUFT News.
The other priority fix for County Road 236 near High Springs is welcome news for one of our viewers who asked in February about the county's plans for the roads in her area. We explained back then that the county may tweak its comprehensive plan so it could resurface 236 without adding paved shoulders. If you have a Find Out Florida question to send us, just visit WUFT.org.
On the other side of Alachua County, a neighborhood is worried about small bridges washing out. WUFT's Evan Moon joins us live from the newsroom. Evan, how are people holding up who are living on these private roads?
They're hopeful the county can help them solve the problem, which could get worse at any time.
Nobody wants to help us anymore.
9 months after a washout left them stranded, families living on Northeast 96th Avenue have been walking a mile or more to their homes. 2 similar roads in the neighborhood also appear to be in danger.
For almost a year now, cars have been parking miles from their home and commuting over this collapsed bridge to get to their houses. They're waiting for Alachua County to make some sort of repair.
The county says small bridges on 2 other private roads, Northeast 100th and 108th Avenues, are also showing imminent signs of collapse. The county could establish a special tax assessment district that would repair all 3 roads.
The total had jumped to $250,000 to $350,000, and now the last one I went to, now it's $1 million, and we've got 2 other roads, and I guess they're including those roads in that also.
Lisa Franklin fears the bigger budget will be harder for the neighborhood to afford.
With the private roads the way they are, another major concern is the inability for emergency vehicles to reach these homes, especially in an older community. Reporting live from the newsroom, Evan Moon, WUFT News.
2 people are dead following a shooting at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. Investigators say the case appears to be a murder-suicide. After the first calls came in this morning, the base was put on lockdown while police officers and military personnel patrolled the area. 2 bodies were found when officials made sweeps of the buildings. Base officials would not comment because the shooting is an ongoing investigation. This is the second shooting at a San Antonio military base in 3 years.
Pope Francis has released a roadmap for the church in dealing with social issues. The 260-page document is titled The Joy of Love. In it, the Pope calls for a more merciful and loving church, urging the Catholic Church to show compassion for imperfect Catholics. The document does exclude divorced or remarried Catholics from communion, but goes on to say those Catholics should not feel left out of the church. Among other topics, the document even addressed respect for gays and lesbians, but then rejects the idea of same-sex marriage. WUFT's First at 5 is just getting started. Coming up, a couple of University of Florida students are using 3D printing in a new and creative way.
Plus, calling all Harry Potter fans, you now have a new activity to add to your bucket list. Those stories and more coming up after the break.
And today was yet another gorgeous day here in North Florida. Here's a look at the live cam. It is breezy out there though right now. I'll tell you why it's breezy coming up in my main weather forecast and just how cool we could get for this weekend.